Hello, everybody. Welcome to Iron Deck. I'm your host, Peter. We got Jeremy here tonight, and
Hello.
we are celebrating our 500 subscriber Q&A. Thank you so much. The channel is growing. We're so thrilled. And yeah, little by little. So we decided at 500 subscribers, we were going to open up the questions to people, answer whatever they ask. Hopefully it's all magic related. I doubt it, but we'll see. We'll see what we're dealing with, right, Jerry? How you
Let's
doing?
do it. I'm excellent. I'm ready to answer
Excellent.
some questions.
I hope they're really embarrassing.
I know.
So should I go ahead and should we just jump into it, or
Just
let's talk a little bit. We
okay.
started off this channel. What we're trying to do, separating ourselves from the other channels, is that we have this Iron Deck, which is of course kind of inspired by Iron Chef. We have our main character played by you as Alexander Nevermind, and he summons gladiators uh, uh, to his kitchen auditorium, and they have to brew a deck with certain stipulations that you put, and they have to battle each other, and it's for a decent prize. I mean, we're mainly giving away reserve list cards,
Yes,
and
we've painted ourselves into a corner by saying
I
we're going to
know.
give reserve list cards, and
Just,
then that's where we're at.
just wait till we start giving away like homelands cards.
Yeah, yeah. Autumn Willow is also on the reserve list, so buckle
That's
up.
right. That's right. uh
There's
so
only
yeah,
there's only 10 dual lands, so once we're through those,
Ugh. I don't want to give away an underground sea.
we're about to give away a tundra.
Oh no. I wanted that card. So talk about your journey. I mean, a lot of this was inspired by your ideas. I want to give credit where credit is due. Um, talk about your character, Alexander Nevermind. What's your inspiration?
Well, so I mean, it's somewhat is my idea, but my idea came from the Iron Chef and Sherman Kaga, who is the absolute best character who's ever been on television. If you haven't seen the original Japanese Iron Chef, do yourself a favor. They treat cooking like pro wrestling, and it's absolutely
Yes.
batshit. It's fantastic.
They're on YouTube, and the beauty of it is it's a Japanese show and it's all overdubbed except the chairman. He
Yes,
speaks in his native tongue and it's subtitled because you can't dub his voice.
no, absolutely not. He's a star of stage and screen. I think his name is Takeshi Kaga in real life.
I think you're
He's
right.
yeah, I've seen him on like in musicals. He's a renaissance man. Um, I think he was also in the Death Note movie, but I didn't watch it. Uh, so yeah, and the name Alexander Nevermind is simple. It's just Prince's one of Prince's pen names. One of
Yeah, his pseudonym if you're fancy.
his pseudonym is Alexander Nevermind. So I took that because I love Prince to an unhealthy degree.
I happen to know this. Yeah, so we wanted to make this channel. So obviously, we're doing box openings. Magic players love to watch box openings and, you know, cards that we've bought or, product that we might be speculating on, things like that. And not that it's financial advice,
It's never
but
financial advice.
we're total amateurs, but it kind of gives, an idea of what collectors versus players do. And we're kind of both. We play the game, but we also collect and keep sealed product and get cards just for the sake of getting the cards.
Yeah, it's really the
And
worst of like both worlds, right? Because
yes,
you get cards for collection and then you put them in decks and then I worry about their condition. So you really have to just kiss one of those goodbye, right? You either go, I don't care about the condition, I bought this to play with, which is where I fall a lot of times. Um, or there's, I'm gonna keep this card in perfect condition and the thought of shuffling it gives me anxiety. So I just have to get rid of that and just say I'm buying these. This is a player's collection.
yeah, the hard part for me being both is as a player, I like to open packs. I like to get the cards, and rather than buy the cards individually, I kind of like the thrill of cracking packs. I know that's definitely not the way to get the cards that you want.
Very financially irresponsible. Absolutely.
Very yes, yes. And at the same time, I keep some sealed products. So if there's a product I like, I want to keep a couple of boxes sealed, and I stare at them thinking, I wonder if there's a force of will in there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Is there
Should
a
I open it?
Is there an etched foil Liliana that's special with sprinkles? I don't even know the different versions. We're coming up on Phyrexia, all is one, and I think there's 57 versions of Elish Norn in it. So
Oh, that's yeah, that's a totally different ball game
yeah,
in terms of all the different versions. The good news is I'm actually not as interested in all the versions of the cards that are coming out. I think I'm that kind of spares me a little bit of the collector aspect where I
right.
don't have to get every version of everything. Remember when they had what 9 different versions of a Teferi in one of the
Oh
sets?
yeah, Teferi Master of Time or something, and it was just these subtle differences behind him.
Subtle difference. Yeah.
I checked out right there.
Yeah, that made it easy for me. Really made it easy. So yeah, we
I think the lie we tell ourselves is that we're collecting them and we're going to ever offload them, right? Like that's the real lie. Is like
yes,
I can't imagine a situation outside of a total economic collapse at which point our magic cards will also be worthless.
correct. It's
So,
one of those things where I have the card. My wife bought me a Judge promo Wheel of Fortune for Christmas one year, thanks to you for giving her the tip. And I think at the time the card was $500 and it's almost 2 grand now. And I tell her, I go, hey, the card you got me is like $2,000. She's like, great, sell it. I'm like, no,
yeah,
why would I
that's
do
the
that?
problem. What it's really worth is nothing to us because we're never going to sell it.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
I look around at my desk here and I just have a bunch of cards that have all gone up in price. And of course, I wouldn't sell that. Our
It
last
defeats the whole
Iron
purpose.
Deck tournament, I couldn't even send away the Gwendolyn that I earmarked to give as the prize because it's a Gwendolyn that I've had for like 20 something years. I have two of them. I couldn't find the other one. And so I just had to get one from TCG Player. Like I could not part with this Gwendolyn DeCorci. I was like, this I've had for so long. How could I do this? So yeah, it's
That's
just a
fantastic.
sickness. We're just giving names to a sickness we have.
It really is, and it's like we're trying to justify it or not justify it, but I mean, I justify it with, "Oh, well, I'm not gonna lose money because
Right.
this product is gonna go up in value, and then, it's in a locked safe forever."
Right. It's perfect. It's great. Yeah.
They're gonna find me on the couch old and gray, and it's just gonna be a safe with, like, tons of money.
Yeah. And they're going to open it and go, what is this cardboard crap?
I remember this game. This is from that company that went defunct 30 years ago.
Yeah. Because of something they did with D&D. Um,
Exactly.
we're not going to get into the OGL and D&D talk, but
Oh god, no.
know that as they do this, it makes me sad because I feel like it's going to hurt our magic collections somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. All right, well, hey, let's get to it.
Let's answer some questions from the
Let's answer
internet.
some questions from the internet.
I'm sure this will be fine.
Yes, I'm looking now. All right, so the first question, fortunately, is straightforward. Magic the Gathering. What's your favorite Magic card?
You field this one first.
Okay.
I,
Um, yeah, because I'm a little torn. The first card I ever bought was Phyrexian Dreadnought, but as we all know, not all, but now you're about to know, my favorite card is Demonic Tutor. Unfortunately, only playable in a couple of formats, which is one of the reasons I'm getting into Commander because it's the one format where I can play it. But I've been working on a global set. So Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, Revised, Judge promos, all the special sets that came out, the
Summer
Mystical
magic.
Archives. The one I'm missing is a Summer Demonic Tutor. And I'm talking to somebody right now, trying to get one. There's currently one that I have found, and uh, the owner of the card is a little firm on the price, so I'm letting it stew a little bit, and we'll see if I can get a little better deal on it. But that's the one that I'm missing,
Just
and
one.
when I get it, I'm going to show it on the channel, and I'll show my whole demonic tutor collection.
I think thinking of a card for me, like a favorite card, it's so impossible. Like my mind goes immediately to Lightning Bolt because it's always been the
Oh,
card that I just, yeah, I take three at the end of your
yeah.
turn, take three in the face. Um,
The answer for you, I think, is lightning bolt because I remember a time where we went to a con and you bought all of them.
back in the day when the only lightning bolts were like revised and fourth edition and then before that. And I was just like, you can never have enough bolts.
That four, if it's a red deck, you get four of them. This is back how we brewed decks in the day. It was usually monocolor. I'm making a red deck. Well, four bolts.
Yeah, four
Let's
bolts,
see what
four
else I can put in.
incinerates, a wheel of fortune. Like that's it was automatic. So
Yes.
as common as that card is, it's lightning bolt. I mean, I like the I like the immediacy of it.
Did
Boom,
you get
threw
the
you in the
did you
face.
get the Hadouken?
I did.
Attaboy.
I like it, but
Yeah.
it's the original art. I can't tear my. You know what's funny? I have a million different versions of lightning bolt, and I only put the original art in decks. And I just go, well, I
Yeah.
have four of this promo one. It's kind of cool. And I go, no, I need the Christopher Rush art. Let's go.
I hear you. I hear you. There's something about that original art. The flavor of Magic back in that day was unsurpassed and unmatched since.
I agree.
Don't get me wrong, the art now is beautiful. I think some of the most beautiful art took place in Kaladesh. Kaladesh was stunning.
Oh, beautiful.
And
Absolutely
yeah,
beautiful.
and then you just see an old cartoony card and you're like, this is great, like humility.
Right. Here, there's lightning bolt.
Yeah,
The
beautiful.
we have the technology.
Beautiful.
If anybody doesn't know what a lightning bolt is, that's it.
That's the original. That's how it should look.
And four, let's get
And
your demonic tutor. Just
oh, yes.
oh, I spelled it wrong.
Nope.
All this, and I've screwed it.
Did you mean
There we go.
that's the wrong art?
That is 100% the wrong art. Boom. There's the right art.
That's the right art. Yep. Awesome card. I remember seeing that when I saw that card for the first time. I thought, this is the game of the devil. I'm in. Well, I think the next question parlays right into this. Who's your favorite Magic artist?
That I have an easy answer for. My answer is Amy Weber. Amy Weber? Amy Weber. I think it's Weber. Um, I'm going to, we'll go to Time Walk, which is, this is definitely not the version. This is the version. Um, Amy Weber has a weird art style, and I dig that about her. Like all of her
Yes.
art seems uncomfortable to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but something is happening that is unwholesome in the Time Walk art,
You know
right?
what I think it is? In that art specifically, to kind of critique the art in a good way, is the black sky behind it all makes it feel like it is unsettling with that black sky. That to
Yes.
me, and the dark mountain in the background, it's a very strange place that art is taking place in.
And they're walking in, you can see the one or however many people it's supposed to be, like walking into this like henge. It's just everything about it feels kind of off. And I dig that. And all of her art, I'm trying to think of the other one. I think it's Mishra's War Machine. See if I get lucky. Boom, there's another one. Um, it's just it's a weird piece of art. These strange little people sitting on this carriage, like all of her stuff looks like this, and I love it. Amy Weber to me is my favorite. Unsettling.
Awesome. Yeah. Opposite for me, the my favorite artist is the master of I say the master of distance. All of his artwork looks it's like very far away, but very crisp and very detailed. Guess what?
But
His name is Stefan Martinier.
oh shit! Give me a card. He did.
I'm about to.
We're leaving in you saying the wrong name.
I'm dumb. His name is Stefan Martinier. I should know that, considering I'm calling him my favorite artist.
There's an example of his island.
See how there's
Stunning.
so much happening in the distance. It's beautiful. It's a little hard to translate onto a Magic card, but his art is stunning.
Let me grab
Uh,
another example here
also
while we're
also known very popularly as the artist for Dark Depths.
yeah, which is great art. And honestly, every time they come out with a new version of Dark Depths, I'm disappointed. This one
That it's
feels
not bad.
very ominous, and you don't know what Merit Lage is up to.
Mhm. And if you look at this art, notice there's a person standing on the ice. Again, it's all distance. Everything is way far away.
Right. In my mind, it's the vampire hex mage that's about to make Merit Lage.
Yeah, right. Yes. Yes. About to get sacrificed.
Exactly. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful distance. Let's grab one more that kind of highlights that. Oh, the mountain.
Yeah. Beautiful. The archway, and there's all the detail in that arch in the distance. Um, so yeah, I met him at Dragon Con.
Oh,
Very pleasant guy. I got these lands here. I got one of each of those lands signed by him, and there was a book I wanted, and he didn't have it, so he emailed me and shipped me out the book. I actually have it here.
oh,
Behold. Hold on. Here we go.
oh, trajectory.
Yeah. And yeah, he does a lot of like space scenes with ships on the launch pad out in the distance, and the yellowish dusty sky, and it's fantastic. All right. Moving on.
Moving on.
Jeremy, tell me, how did you get into magic?
Oh, um, I think
That's the question.
it was somewhere in the dark or revised. It was kind of at the same time. I remember both being for sale at the same time, and I was illegally working at a place called Software Etc. when I was 11.
That's where I met you.
That's where you met me. You worked at Champs and got to
Yes.
wear a cool referee's outfit. Um,
Accurate.
I was 11 and working at Software Etc. I mean, the situation or the specifics of it are bizarre, but regardless, this card game came out, and the people that worked there played it, and I thought it was kind of neat. And I think the first card I saw that I wanted was Demonic Hordes, and I said that card, kind of like you with Demonic Tutor, when you just go,
Mhm.
oh wait, look at this evil thing, right? I saw Demonic Hordes, and I was like, oh, that's so badass.
Yeah, when you're in your early teens, like,
Yeah,
dark evil is like the cool thing to do,
yeah. So Demonic Hordes
especially
was
in the
awesome,
90s.
and in the early '90s, right?
Yeah.
So
Where
from
everything was neon colored and Zubaz pants, and then here's a game with demons in it.
yeah, and so that was it. I saw it and I was like, this is awesome. I bought some of the dark, which, I mean, wasn't a great first set, but revised was, and I kept a lot of those dual lands.
Lucky.
And yeah, and I'm a black hole, and I never part with anything, so they're still all here. But yeah, that's how I got into
Exact
it. I just saw it,
Yeah,
and I was a young, edgy uh, tween, and it appealed to me. And here I am, 30 years later.
still going. I was hanging out with a group of friends, and they all started to play Magic, and I go, "What are you guys doing?" And it was a very basic kind of version of the game. Everything was monocolored, everything was really cheap. One guy treasured his pirate ship so much that he had it in a top loader and proxied in his deck. Now, that being said, we didn't have sleeves back then, and he didn't want to shuffle his pirate ship, which I think is worth 45 cents right now. He
Are
didn't
we
he
speaking
didn't
about
want
the
to.
same person that also did that with Mahamodi Jin?
Yes.
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 Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about, and
Yes.
Mahamodi is
And
another card that's 10
yep.
cents.
They're the ones who introduced me to the game. So I think this was my father and I used to go to a baseball card store that is now defunct called Ball Busters.
Ah,
Remember that?
ah,
Remember that place?
ah.
We would go to Ball Busters to get baseball cards, and they had Portal starter decks in store, and I bought one, and that was my first Magic purchase, was a Portal starter deck.
Man, your dad must have been so disappointed going there to buy sports cards. And you're like, I'm going to be a wizard.
Ah, Pete, what are you doing? Fantastic. Dad's now immortalized on YouTube. Amazing. So yeah, that's how I get into Magic, and then I was really hooked. I kind of fell out of it a little bit because I was having difficulty keeping up with type 1 versus type 2. And
The arms race.
I remember being scandalized that, you know, I made a deck and it wasn't legal because it had Landwar elves in it. And they said, well, just buy Findhorn elves. I said, it's the same card. Why should I have to buy more cards when these do the same thing? Why can't I just play with my deck? And I was so upset. And, but I still played. And then at some point I got out of it. I sold you all of my cards uh, for $300, if I recall.
Yes, I have your Sliver
I,
Queen.
I know you definitely made out. Uh, so yeah, and then I got back into it with Planar Chaos. That was the first time I ever bought a box of Magic cards. I bought a whole booster box of Planar Chaos. I got Damnation and Extirpate and Shimeon Spirit Guide, and I made some new decks. Got back into it, and then fell out of it because I didn't have anyone to play with. And then really hit the ground running with Eternal Masters and Kaladesh.
Oh yeah, Planar Chaos was amazing.
That was a great set.
But yeah, you did come back at the right time, right when they started to make all the masterpiece cards.
Oh, the first masterpiece I ever cracked, Soul Ring.
Not
Jackpot.
not too bad.
Not too bad. All right, moving on. Oh, this is strange. Well, hey, Jer,
Yes.
what's the longest you've gone without a shower?
Um, the Peace River. It was in the 90s, and I kayaked 65 miles up the Peace River in 3 days with my insane math teacher and a school trip. And so we were camping. So 4 days. Pardon me, 4 days.
Are you? Is this from a movie or is this true?
No, this happened. It sucked.
With your math teacher?
Yeah, yeah. He was an outdoorsman, and he was doing like a special. It was like a holiday thing, and he's like, "Who wants to do it?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd love to kayak up the Peace River in Florida, 60
How
something
many
miles,
how many people went?
like 12."
Okay, so it wasn't just you and him.
No, that's not okay.
No, it's not
That's not
okay.
okay. Even in the 90s, that wasn't okay. It was a
Okay,
bunch of people. There was a
good.
kid that got stuck in the rapids, and I crawled through there and dragged him back out. And he said I saved his life, which was over dramatic, but so was he. And
Maybe not.
um, and I remember my math teacher killed a water moccasin with an oar,
Sounds super safe.
and I didn't shower that whole time. So
How could you?
yes, so that's the answer. There's a little intimate glimpse into my life as a teenager.
Excellent. Excellent.
Well, how long have you
Um,
gone without showering?
uh-huh. I guess I have to answer. Similar situation, minus the math teacher. When I was in medical school in Miami, medical school, I a friend of mine was really into racing. I'm a big gearhead, love cars, love racing, and he said, you know, we and the boys should go to the 12 hours of Sebring. It's great. You go, you camp out. There's practice and racing, and it's like days long. The 12-hour race is on Saturday, but we'll get there on like Thursday. Okay, sounds good. So I didn't have any gear. You know, I didn't have any equipment. It's not how I lived. And so I had a tent from when I was like 6. I went back to my parents' house and grabbed it out of the closet, little triangle tent, and we slept in the infield of Sebring International Raceway from Thursday to Saturday night, and we were going to stay until Sunday, but uh, back in the early 2000s and all through the 80s and 90s, of course, Sebring turned into a war zone at night after the race, and somebody near us started a bonfire, and we thought it might have been a little out of control. And then they threw a pleather couch into the bonfire, which we thought might have been dangerous. And then somebody threw an empty, we hope, propane tank into the bonfire, and we packed up our crap and left.
Perfect.
Yep. And I went home and I took my first shower in days, and you could see the dirt uh, pouring down the drain like the scene from Psycho.
it's,
Uh,
it's like you're at
yeah,
Woodstock or the
yeah,
the bad Woodstock.
correct. But funny thing is, we learned from it. So the next year, we had better tents, better equipment, and baby wipes. And then the next year, Sebring installed some. They brought in a trailer truck that had showers that were supposed to be hot, but it was more lukewarm. But we didn't care.
Right.
And then, and then it upgraded more. And then, as my friends graduated their residencies before me, because as an interventional cardiology doctor, I had to do 7 years after medical school, whereas my friends, internal medicine is 3 years after medical school, anesthesia is 4 years after. So they said, "Don't worry, Pete, we'll pay the lion's share." And we started getting RVs for the track. We showered there. And then now we've graduated to the hotel that's on the track. And so we have unlimited hot water and it's worth every penny.
I would love to know who came with a pleather couch and then set it on fire.
So people show up at these races with all kinds of furniture and they set up a living room outside and they watch the race from a couch drinking beer as the cars zoom by and they're just yeah, they're sitting in a couch.
And then at some point they light it on fire.
There's a group of people, they set up an entire Western Inn. It's called the Stumble Inn. There's a bar in there and everything and they set it up every year.
It's
They
insane.
set up they set up a television with a fish tank and they fill it with goldfish at the racetrack. It's amazing.
All right.
All right, moving on.
Moving right along.
This is weird. It just says, "Why Commander?" Jeremy, why Commander?
Um
Meaning for the channel,
why
maybe?
not?
Or yeah,
Um I don't know. I guess if the question is why do we like Commander? We're both recent Commander people. Like it's not something we've been doing since the early days with like Nicol Bolas and Palladium Moors and all that stuff. But I like the opportunity to play with crappy old cards that have been in my binder for 100 years. That's it. Almost that's the complete answer. Is that you get to use cards that get um, powered out of any constructed format.
I like it.
Yeah,
I think I completely agree. It's kind of, where we're kind of toying around making my first Commander deck, and I've decided maybe go zombies, and we're looking at things, and I was said, "Did you know Frankenstein's monster counts as a zombie? I'm playing this card.
right, right. Yeah,
Where else do you play Frankenstein monster?"
nowhere. There's it maybe not even in the format that it wants to, right? Like 93, 94. Like it's not just a bad card, but
Yeah.
it's a zombie out of 100. It's awesome, right? I'm putting together a commander deck with a terrible wizard from Homelands. Like that ability to kind of go back to brewing with cards that you know are bad is a lot of fun to me.
I'm
It's,
I'm
you make them work.
enjoying not net decking.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't have to sit there and go, well, this is we're optimized, so you don't really have a flex slot. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what Commander why it's amazing. So I
Yeah.
hope that's
Is there something better than Chromatic Star for this Tron deck? Like, no,
no, yeah,
no, but you can do that in Commander.
yeah. I can put Barbed Sexton in there or whatever.
I think you should.
So I hope
Okay.
that's the answer to the question why Commander.
It answers for both of us, in my opinion.